Hello everyone, welcome to a spooky episode of Ming Ming. Now, I know it's a little late for Halloween, but I don't care. I thought it'd be fun to do a video about monsters. Not your old deteriorating politicians who are still trying to take away your health care. No, good old fashioned giant creatures that are large enough that you can see up their buttholes. Now, if you were a Canadian and between the ages of 8 to 6 in the years of 2006 to 2009, you might have obscure memories about this show. Now, what I vividly remember was the girl boss engineer connecting a vacuum hose to a rake with duct tape to create a monster slaying laser. If any of that sounds cool to you, please watch more episodes. All 52 are available on YouTube for free. Now, this was an old show that used to air on YTV here in Canada. I caught it a few times when it came on TV, but it was one of those shows relegated to like the very bad TV slots. It aired on 9 p.m. on a weekday, not even Friday. Sometimes even 11 p.m. on a Sunday. It's like the network knew it was poo, so they were like, screw you. You're not iCarly, you don't move the girls, you're ugly, and you can't sit with us at the 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. primetime slot. Now, I was a bad boy back in the day. So I would stay up and watch the 9 p.m. television. And right as Monster Warriors came on, with quickness and haste, I raised my remote and switched it to, if you know you know, Channel 47 Teletoon or Channel 48 Family Channel. Or really any other channel I had. It was a very change the channel type of show. Like at 9 p.m. you had stuff like Family Guy, American Dad, or even Glee. A slight tangent, Channel 47 and 48 were premium television back in the day, up until 2009. Because before 2009, my cable plan only had Channel 25, which was YTV. And my parents had to splurge some extra bucks for my amusement to get 47 and 48. So before that, I'd switch to Channel 47 and 48, hoping to catch Hannah Montana. But I'm only left with longing as Best of Both Worlds played in my head as I watched the static on the TV. It was a very tragic time. Now back to the show. Let's start with the opening cinematic. In this opening scene, we can clearly deduce that they indeed had a green screen and a dream.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping.
I'm not messing around with the edits. This is how the show looks. They said no real sets. We're saving money everywhere. We're not filming outside shots, and instead of outside shots, we're gonna boot up SimCity 4 and zoom in on the ground.
I'm Dink Dorman. This is CCTN.
This first guy introduced is Dink Dorman, and he's easily the best actor in the show. He just gives so much to his performance as a narrator of sorts for all the other characters to see like events on the TV. His performance balances a sort of air of seriousness and comedy that our main characters just aren't able to.
Another calm, peaceful day in this town of ours.
This looks like an explosion effect that I would edit in. Immediately in this show, I'm smacked in the face by white. I'm smacked in the face by this streamy filter that makes everything look like a flashback. Be careful watching the show, because the whites will burn your eyes. Much like the Porygon episode. If you can't tell by now by the name Shady Past Rest Home, or by this random crazy old man with a German accent who's also an evil monster creator, Budget Dr. Doofenshmirtz. This show is very campy. His name is actually Klaus von Steinhauer, but I'm gonna hereby pronounce him Budget Dr. Doofenshmirtz. So he wanders the street like a madman and wanders into this appliance store. And he says,
I need to harness the power of the cosmos.
Where do we start? Bathroom fixtures and electrical?
Exactly.
So then he gets his equipment and goes to an abandoned movie studio.
My old movie studios.
He's even got this make plastic monster movie props alive and giant in Nator.
Soon, the capital city will know what revenge is all about.
See, when I was younger, I couldn't appreciate this show for its campiness because frankly, it looked atrocious. The coloring looked bland, the CGI looked like a media arts project from high school, and the vibes or just diabolical. I know it's intentional and they're trying to get this type of bad movie vibe across, but come on. You could have spent a bit of money and actually went outside to get the shots and actually put effort into, I don't know, making the show look better, especially when you're marketing the children. Like if kids are choosing between this
Capital City introduction.
and Hannah Montana,
Come on!
it's a no-brainer. There's a balance between campiness and just overall being bad.
It's as if major news is actually happening.
In this next scene, we're introduced to our 4 main characters. Our squad, if you will. The Monster Warriors. They all just kind of meet for the first time as science lab partners. First, we see Antonio. Now, he's the smart guy. He's the uncool geek. He's the one with no luck with the ladies, and he is talking to a spider.
99% of all spiders can't even hurt human beings, and yet for some reason...
Do you always talk to bugs?
Oh,
He's played by Yanni Gelman, who's actually in Pretty Little Liars as Garrett Reynolds. This year is Tabby. She's the girl boss engineer. She's played by Mandy Butcher.
I've seen your picture before. You're class president, and captain of the gymnastics squad, and volleyball team,
And really bad at science, which is why I hope I can be of at least some use on this bug project. But aren't there supposed to be 2 more of us working on it?
Arachnids.
I'm sorry, what?
Spiders aren't bugs. They are, carnivorous arthropods of the class arachnid.
You dummy brainiac, what the fuck did you just say to me? I don't fucking care what spiders are classified as. They're all just insignificant beings to me that need to be crushed under my foot.
They breathe through their stomachs, you know.
So Tabby here, she just learns that spiders breathe through their stomachs.
And we use the tubing to hold the window screen in place. Then it should supply a constant flow of fresh oxygen.
And it's established here that she's just really good at building stuff. And she's an engineer.
I just know how to build stuff.
Then lastly, our final girl, she appears out of nowhere like a ninja.
It's one of those things. Sometimes... Whoa.
Ever read the school manual?
No.
Regulation 2174. All matter of implements of an offensive and/or tactical nature.
You gorgeous athletic piece of muscle, what the fuck did you just say to me? I don't fucking care about the school rules. I'll carry a knife around and shank who I want. I'll have you know my dad was in 5 raids of Al-Qaeda and this was the same knife he killed Osama bin Laden with.
Tactical? No, my dad gave me this for my 7th birthday.
Well, someone could always take it from you. Like... in seconds.
She's the resident badass. She's quick. She's the melee fighter. She gets right in the monsters' faces and she does a pose and she takes them down. I will be showing you what I mean later on. Her name is, and I had to check Wikipedia for this because I heard either Thonka or Vodka, but her name is actually Vonka. She's played by Laura Amersey.
You must be Vanka.
Yeah, and aren't we supposed to be 4?
Then lastly, our final piece of the puzzle, our main tall boy. His name is Luke. He's introduced with this epic music.
Hi. Sorry I'm late. City's all jammed up because of that explosion.
And I'm guessing he's the hot one because all 3 of them are just like eye-banging him and drooling here. He's played by Jared Kiso, who later went on to create Letterkenny. Now the acting in this scene is just very Disney, very Lizzie McGuire. Antonio does this like arachnids here, just like Hilary Duff.
Arachnids. You're class president.
It all just feels like a very forced meet cute. Like the writers had no idea how to organically make these 4 meet without like building extra sets or I don't know, booking an actual high school to shoot in. And again, this white glare is just so obnoxious. They said we can't afford any shots of the outside, so we'll just blur it out. Then in this next scene, we see Tabby's dad.
Hey, Daddy.
Hey, Tabby Cat.
They knew what they were doing, calling this guy Daddy while he's washing a car, no less. I mean, if you like daddies, please check out my Father's Day video here. And he's got a sticky mess all over his car, which definitely alludes to our spider monster and nothing else your dirty mind will take you. But if you look at this prop, it's just literally canned silly string. They said we're not gonna make fake spider web either. It's not very convincing.
You be out late.
I won't, don't worry about it.
I mean it.
See ya.
Science.
So then our 4 main characters, they go to Luke's house to work on their group project.
So the house is a bit of a mess. Haven't really had time to unpack or clean up.
We find out that Luke is rich and his parents are environmental conservationists.
Your parents.
Save the whales? Or this week it could be the Northwest Territories and saving the red-billed back-breasted hammerhead.
Are you fucking serious, you stupid tall drink of water fuckboy with the blue eyes? Hammerhead sharks live in temperate waters. There's no way they would live in the fucking Northwest Territories. Now, why don't you have a guess at how Luke's parents made their money? Is it A, parents are famous conservationists and have saved many turtles? B, generational wealth and decades of voting conservative? C, lucky and won the lottery? Or D, lucky and bought Amazon stock or Apple stock early? It's none of the above.
My parents invented the grocery card coin dispenser.
Huh? How do you even make money from that? Then they hear about the spider monster from the telly and they get into the car from the opening theme song.
Elsewhere in our peaceful town, we've been receiving farmers' reports of strange, mucus-like substances covering nearby trees.
Now this is a car.
This is the car that they'll be traveling in for the rest of the series. And Luke has a very forced speech about...
It's weird, but it's like somehow things aren't right here in Capital City. It's even weirder. It's like we're supposed to do something about it.
Like, okay, Mr. Tall and Rich, enough with the exposition. We have media literacy. We know you're a team. It was in the opening. So they drive all the way to where the spider is and their car breaks down. Tabby goes out to fix the car, even though she doesn't know anything about cars.
Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
You know anything about cars?
Well, not yet.
She is the reverse engineer girl boss.
So, looks like this thing connects to here. Tighten that. Okay, give it a try.
The car is fixed. Like, she just gets machinery. She's just that talented and good. So the car starts moving ever so slowly and suddenly. Brace yourself for this, because this is a jump scare. What the fuck? This was such an unnecessary jump scare. Like, geez. This isn't the haunting of Hill House. Spider jumps out from behind the trees and the cry that it lets out is just blood curdling. Imagine watching this at 9 p.m. as a 10-year-old on TV and you see this? Traumatic. Before bedtime too? You can't sleep. What was the reason? This was supposed to be a silly little show. So another reason why I didn't watch this back then. Because it was ugly and scary. Like, pick a struggle. That's like being ugly and untalented. It's just not fair. Again, let me point out the fact that none of this show actually looks real. I don't even think the scenes with the back of this car were even filmed, because we only ever see close-ups of the characters from the front of the car. It feels like most of these series of events were CGI'd in post. So then Vanka and Antonio go to distract the spider.
Antonio's coming with me.
Me? But I'm not...
1, 2,
3!
Again, the acting here is very Lizzie McGuire. They both run and do this roll onto the grass and land on top of each other.
what are you doing?
I'm sorry.
Again, that's not me messing around with the edits. That's just how it plays out in the show. Blah blah blah. Antonio here on top of Vanka has a very Sheldon Cooper-esque explanation about spiders and why he shouldn't roll off of her.
I probably shouldn't roll off right now.
Want to bet?
I don't know. What I mean to say is spiders react primarily to movement and any adjustment in their field of vision, so any motion right now would be imprudent.
Guys will say anything.
And the forced romance here is just so very upsetting. Meanwhile, Tabby and Luke go to build a weapon with whatever they have in the car.
Okay, what do you got? Okay.
Coffee maker. Take.
Got it. Need that.
A tube? Batteries. Yeah. A kettle. Okay. Duct tape. Yeah, got it. Need that. As if duct tape is supposed to connect these random objects together into a monster-slaying weapon. So cutting back to Antonio and Vanka, Antonio sneezes because can't be acting. And the spider reacts. So Antonio runs away and Vanka, she just stands there. But like, the spider never moves. They said, sorry, no budget to have threatening monsters to actually walk forward or pose any kind of threat or react to characters. And again, the characters are never shown in the same scene with the spider, because budget. So then Tabby somehow fashions those random objects into a fully functioning laser and throws it to Vanka, who shoots the spider.
Huh. That's about right. Vanka!
Let me repeat. She got a plastic tube, 2 batteries, a kettle, and duct tape, and managed to create a rocket launcher that shoots beams of heat?
Huh. That's about right.
You wish you could girl engineer as hard as her. So then the gang all get in the car and they drive away. But again, the spider never moves. There was never any real threat. If anything, these 4 humans, they disturbed the natural behavior of a poor, defenseless, monster-sized spider. The next day, they go to a movie store where you can rent physical movies.
Hi there. Just setting up the display.
He really gagged these dumb teenagers. I really like the owner of this store.
Name's Krieger. Existential philosophy and monster movies. How can I help you?
He's awesome.
About the poster in the window,
Like I tell all you big bug freaks, I'm not selling, you know? Money does not our fruitful lives make. Kierkegaard. Lost you, didn't I? Stupendous Studios. Used to be right here in Capital City.
Listen, Krieger, we just had to fight off a 15-foot spider that looks exactly like the one in your window. We need information, not nerd history.
Vanka, that's not very girl boss of you. If you're asking the guy for help, you don't have to be so rude about his interests. But Krieger, being the saint that he is, gives them a spider monster movie directed by the budget Dr. Doof, Klaus von Steinhauer.
Earth versus the Giant Spider Invasion. One of the best Klaus von Steinhauer productions ever.
Our Klaus von Steinhauer. The very same Klaus von Steinhauer who turned a plastic spider into a gigantic and docile mommy arachnid.
I just can't believe these movies were ever popular.
Many comments about this scene. First of all, I finally understand what the creators were going for. This is kind of like a fourth wall break. The whole show is definitely going for this nostalgic home movies that you make with your family type of vibe, right down to the obnoxious white glare and the campy acting.
These weapons make no sense whatsoever.
This is actually a genius line, and it comes from our genius girl boss girl engineer herself. It's self-aware and it pokes fun at the show. If the writers lean harder into the parody aspect and self-awareness, then even with the terrible visuals, the show might honestly have become a cult classic.
I've adapted these vacuums into a form of laser weapon that should be able to stop most things in their tracks. I've also adapted these, which look like strainers, but the glue line that I've inserted should...
I've also created a portable seismic reader. It should help us track what we're looking for.
I've taken basic body armor and skateboard gear.
So now they've got the weapons, they've got the gear.
These should help us move with stealth and speed.
They've got a potential lesbian love story that will never come into fruition. They're Mystery Inc., a ragtag band of misfits doing stuff, solving crime, fighting monsters right outside of their garage.
But it sounds like there's a huge fire at industrial wastelands. Dad? Are you... Dad? Sounds bad.
Worse than bad.
Ooh, acting. Couldn't they have done one more take? Let's go! Batman and Robin! They even got the boot heel zip up close up. And this is the iconic back away scene that you'll see in every episode. As an aside, I would just like to point out this picture of our 4 main squad members. Do you see anything wrong with this pic? I do. It's one very glaring thing. My girl Tabby here is struggling in this picture. There's no cosmic reason in the universe that she has to contort her ankle to make that sort of pose. There's just no comprehensible reason why someone would make a girl do this. It's crazy. It's so stupid. I just love the atrocious green screen, the moving but obviously paused background, and the lack of wind blowing their hair back while they're riding in a top-down convertible. Let me repeat. They had a green screen and a dream. So then they're at the factory and 3 giant spiders can be found. And Antonio is chased by one of them. So then Tabby and Luke go to help him.
Guys!
I got this. Will you help Antonio?
But Vanka, she's just left alone fighting against 2 spiders. She's fine. She's not even trying to shoot. She walks forward, shoots a bit, pops her hips out, bends down, one leg up, shoots some more. She's slaying some monsters. She's just out here posing like it's a challenge on America's Next Top Model. Another editing mishap. She's standing here, Then she's bent down. Again, just one more take. Meanwhile, the other three defeat the giant spider after much effort. But Vanka, she's just chilling by herself. She's built different. She's bisexual. She's by herself. She's the bisexual spider exterminator. Random ass slow motion here. They defeat the spiders! Yay!
Guys, seriously, what is going on here?
Then at night, CCTN host Dink Dorman has something to say.
A source in the fire department informs CCTN News that all capital city citizens owe their lives today to 4 unnamed teenagers. Other sources are saying that they saved us from something described as really big spiders.
Again, I really enjoyed his performance here. There's just so much comedy in his delivery. Right down to him listening to his producer telling him to do a camera angle change. But even he is plagued by line misreads here and there.
The rise in team crime is more likely. The culprit.
Again, director, one more take. Now I just have some extra notes about this show. These end credits show a backdrop of what is clearly NYC. And I think Capital City, where the show is set in, is supposed to be based on NYC, but the show is based in Canada. This show was also filmed in Barrie, Ontario. If you know, you know. No, actually I don't know, because if you see shots of this show, you would think it's actually set in limbo or heaven, because nothing looks real and you literally cannot tell the actual real life location of any place. I think that's why they didn't film any outside shots, because they knew they would clearly not be in the city anymore if they filmed outside in Barrie. This is what I say about all Canadian shows set in the city. They just want to be NYC so badly. Suits was filmed in the financial district of Toronto and they say they're in NYC. The Boys was filmed in Toronto and they say they're in NYC. There's just something about mainstream shows that are filmed in Canada but want to separate themselves from Canada. It's weird. Anyways, that's the video. If you liked it, please leave a like. Leave a comment if you're so inclined, and let me know what your thoughts about Monster Warriors are. Let me know if you caught it on TV at some point, or let me know what you liked about the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Gucci!